Vishnu, it will take a bit of time before we get this exact fix on exact number of terror launch pads. We've all heard between 5 and 8. The three of us have been talking to different sources, not just in the government, in the party, but also in the security establishment. Between 5 and 8 is definitely a consistent number. We know it's in multiple sectors. We know it's at least 2 kilometers inside. We know that massive casualties have in fact been inflicted on the terrorists on the other side, and we know that this was an operation undertaken after midnight and our forces were out before sunrise. Vishnu, what more do you have?
Well, several details. Firstly, as you mentioned, the incursion between 1 and 3 kilometers inside. This is detail which I've just picked up in the course of the last 1 hour speaking to my sources. Now, there were multiple terrorist Tanzim launch pads which were attacked by the Indian Army Special Forces. The areas where these operations took place have not been identified by India, but our sources indicating that what has been identified from Pakistan is likely to be correct, which are Bhimber, Hot Spring, Lipa and one more area. Now, what I want to mention over here is that the frontage of this area, in other words, the geographical area where these attacks took place, it's not limited to one small point on the map. They actually took place in a couple of these areas, in fact, in all of these areas. Now, what I am unclear about at this stage is whether there were multiple terrorist launch pads in each of these locations or whether there were just 4. But from different sources, as Barkha also reporting over there, 5 to 8 terrorist launch pads have been attacked across these 4 areas. Now, a few more details. Each terrorist launch pad has between 30 to 40 terrorists. This includes 10 to 20 terrorists, 6 to 10 guides and 5 to 10 support elements. Now, the fact that the operation took place between midnight and 4:30 a.m. this morning, as Sudhi was reporting, this was in a hilly forested area. It was a mountainous area. Full surprise was achieved. There were no Indian casualties. This is a key point which I think we need to repeat over and over again. The fact that there were no Indian casualties, the fact that this was a full surprise operation which was achieved is an indicator of a sterling military success, because it was not, as I've been saying, one point which was hit, it was several points which were hit, and each point would have their own dynamics. So, how did the Pakistanis respond? Well, Pakistanis responded, according to our sources, with speculative fire. What exactly is speculative fire? It is fire against no specific target. They didn't know where we were coming in from, where we were exiting, but they were alerted at one level to our presence and they opened speculative fire. Where does India stand at this stage as far as our defensive formations are concerned? The answer to that is very clear, that our defensive posture, it has always been there, it remains over there, and there is nothing over and above militarily that we have done to defend ourselves or to position ourselves defensively post this particular attack. But as Barkha reported a little while earlier on, villages in Punjab, parts of Jammu and Kashmir, they've been asked to move back. A little more detail which I am just trying to access over here. All right, again, the numbers. You know, the numbers are in scores. I've identified already the number of terrorists in each group. If you do the math, the numbers would be very large. We do not know the numbers, and it's fair to say, as Sudhiranjan was saying, that you can't, there is no, they don't stop in a commando operation to count every single body. Another important detail, India has evidence of the strikes taking place. Whether this was because of drone camera footage which was there, which may have live recorded the operations taking place, or whether there were helmet mounted cameras which were recording the evidence. The recording of this evidence, absolutely important as far as India is concerned in terms of the next step ahead. So therefore, there is a question which could be asked, will this footage ever be released, particularly since Pakistan is in this mode of denial? And the answer is, there is absolutely no call taken on that. There are details which are militarily sensitive, which the army does not want released, or potentially the army would not want released at this stage. So we are not at that stage right now. So lots of details which are coming in. Again, Barkha, I'd like to leave you with one point for the moment: no Indian casualties. Let's reflect on that. This was not one base, these were terrorists, and it could have been heavy Indian casualties. There was not one.